Greetings, ACTFL attendees. Thank you for joining our session. Our topic today is New Pathways for Promoting Lively Conversation. Here's what you will see today. An overview of Nualang and the course library, listening, translation, and pronunciation exercises, interactive worksheets, and chatbot conversation activities. And now I will introduce our speakers. We have two great speakers for our topic today. Stephen Kelly is the creator of Nualang and one of the company's software engineers. He enjoys designing innovative solutions using technology that can have a huge impact. And also Diana Collado. Diana is an accomplished educator who has taught ESL, dual language, and Spanish for over 18 years. Diana has dedicated her career to helping her students become successful.
Hello everybody, my name is Stephen Kelly and I'm the creator of Nualang. I hope everybody is enjoying ACTFL so far. I was lucky enough to attend ACTFL in 2019, which was the last time it was in person, and it was amazing. It was so great to see the passion educators have for teaching and helping their students. And that's why we're so excited to share Nualang with you today. We'd love for you to check it out and let me know what you think. So, the idea for Nualang came from my own personal experience as a language learner, both in and outside of the classroom. When I was at school, I studied Spanish, and two big sections of the Spanish exam were the listening and speaking test. The listening test was a group of students listening to a recording and answering questions based on what they heard. The speaking test was sitting in a room with an examiner and having a conversation in Spanish about various topics such as your family and your hobbies. The limited listening and speaking practice I had in the classroom didn't fill me with confidence going into the exams. I felt very nervous, and that feeling was common amongst my classmates. I would have loved to have a way to practice my listening and speaking skills at home without the fear of embarrassment about getting something wrong. So then, fast forward a few years later, after school's finished, I'm going on a 2-week trip to Italy, and I decided I'll try to learn a little bit of the language before I go. I used some language learning apps and I enjoyed the learning of the vocab, but when I arrived I didn't have the confidence or any conversation experience to put what I had learned into practice. The one time I tried to ask for the bill in Italian, I got a laugh from the waiter and then no bill arrived at our table. It would have really helped me to have an app that allowed me to practice these common conversation scenarios in the target language. So now what I want to do is just jump into Nualang and show you some of the cool things we've built. Okay, so once you've signed into Nualang, you'll get to your home screen. As you can see, I selected Spanish when I signed up, so I'm getting recommended some Spanish courses that we think are really great. If you scroll down, you'll see some role plays, some bots, and some courses. If you'd like to look specifically at one type, you can always hit search and look at just role plays, just chatbots, or courses. So let's take a look at role plays. So as you can see, you can actually search by difficulty. So you can look at all, or you can narrow your search down and look at specific levels. So let's have a look at intermediate low. And you can see we have different creators on Nualang that are creating some really interesting content. So this is content that's all available and made public for you to use with your students too. If you want to check out content in other languages, you can always hit the drop down and take a look at, for example, French. And you'll find some nice examples there too. And if you don't find the content you would like, you can always hit create roleplay and start building your own. Let's also take a look at the chatbots. So just like the role plays, we get a screen here where we can actually filter by difficulty. So let's go to all. We get a bunch of content there that we can explore and have a look at and try it ourselves. And if we wanted to specifically look at one creator, maybe we tried out one of their role plays or chatbots and we thought it was really good, we can click into their profile here by clicking on their picture. So as you can see Sandra Sanchez, and you get an overview of all the content that Sandra has created. So you can check out their role plays, their bots, their courses, and if they have any public classrooms. So that's something that's important to mention. So this is content that Sandra has made public, so it's available to any teachers on Nualang. If Sandra has the choice when she creates content whether she wants to make it public, and it means it can be used as a starting point for other creators, or whether she would like to keep it private and it's just between herself and her students. So that's all in the hands of the teacher. It's up to you which way you'd like to do it. So what other links are important? So on the side here, you'll see we have our home screen, but we also have our library. So as we create content on Nualang, or as we interact with it from a student perspective, we'll see that content appear in our library. So for example, if I click on role plays, you can see that there's a couple of different role plays I've completed. You can also see that there's a couple of role plays I created. And the same for chatbots. There's a couple of role plays that I'm in the middle of playing, and a couple of chatbots that I've created. And you can see I've created no chatbots yet. And the same for courses. I've joined no courses, and I have created no courses. And then you also have classrooms, which I'll touch on a little bit later. Then your activity is where you can track your own progress through content. So a student will also have a similar view here, which will show them which exercise they completed, and they can click in and view their reports. So let's take a look at this chatbot. So you can see where I can go back and reflect on this chatbot attempt I did. And we, of course, have our settings. So if you wanted to, for example, change your profile picture, or you wanted to switch the language that you want to appear on your homepage, you can do that here. So you could switch your language. For now, I'll leave it at Spanish, but I could switch it to French. I could switch it to English, Italian, German, Portuguese. And of course, you also have your name, which appears alongside the content that you create. We also include some useful links here at the bottom for FAQs, and we also have some video guides for you to check out. And of course, we'd encourage everybody as they use Nualang, if they have any feedback, if they encounter any issues, please do get in contact. We'd love to hear from you and help. So, as you explore Nualang, what happens if I find a piece of content that I'd love to use with my students? So let's say I'd love to use one of these recommended courses, possibly US Spanish 1. So what I might do as a teacher is go in and start the course and have a look at it from the perspective of a student. So as you can see, I've actually joined this course in the past, so I've actually completed one of the exercises, so I have some progress. So maybe what you'd want to do is just check out the different sections. So a course has different sections and different topics within each section. So what you can do is you can go inside, you can try out the different exercises, you can take a look at the phrase list, and if you think this would be useful for your students, what you can do, if you are happy with how it is made currently and you're not looking to make any changes to it, you just want to provide this as a resource to your students, what you can do is create a classroom and add this course to your classroom. So let's show you how to do that now. So on the left, you can hit classrooms. As you can see on our Teach tab, we don't have any classrooms yet. So let's hit create classroom. Let's just call this Stephen's classroom. Let's learn Spanish. So our learn language would be Spanish, and the predominant language of the students in the classroom are going to be English in this case. You You can add some tags if you'd like to make it easier for people to discover this classroom. That's usually if you want to create a public classroom. In this example, let's assume we want to keep this private, so it's just between you and your students. So as I said, let's keep this private, and private courses need an enrollment key. So let's just put in test key. And we can enable or disable a classroom chat. We can also enable or disable reviews. So if you have a public classroom and you want fellow teachers or students to be able to review your classroom, you can do that. But since we want to keep this private, let's just disable it. If you want any other teachers to be able to be a collaborator on this classroom, which means that they can add courses, they can check in on students, check in on student progress, you just add in their email here below. So let's pick a cover for our classroom. So let's pick this picture here. So once our classroom is created, you'll see that we have no courses so far. So let's change that. So down here you have an Add Courses button. Once you hit Add Courses, you'll first see a My Courses tab. And inside here, you'll see courses that you've joined, and you'll also see any courses that you've created yourself. So it makes it really easy to add the content that you've been interacting with into your classroom. So if you wanted to add in US Spanish 1, all we have to do is click it and hit Add Courses. Perfect. So now how do we get our students on board? So what we'd want to do is share this link with our students. So you can click share. You can copy the link to your clipboard. If you're already set up in Google Classroom, you can share it to Google Classroom and create an assignment. Or if you want to share this publicly with fellow teachers, maybe you share on Twitter or Facebook. If you wanted to send it directly to students' emails, you can always manually put in their emails, or you can put in a spreadsheet which shows with just a list of each student's email. Okay, so what if we wanted to create our own course? Of course we can do that. So let's hit Add Courses and let's hit Find Course. So as you can see, we can check out some of the other courses that are available on Nualang and add them into our classroom as well. But if we wanted to just set up our own course, we can click Create Course. Let's hit Learn Spanish with Stephen. Put in example description. Put in Spanish for English speakers. Let's hit Next. Let's put in another enrollment key. Let's disable reviews. And let's hit Next. So let's find another picture. So let's pick this one here. And there we go. Our new course is into our classroom. And what we can do is we can click Manage Course and we can start creating our different sections and our different topics. But before I let you go, what I wanted to do is just show you one more example of ways that you can add courses to your classroom. So as you're exploring Nualang and you're searching through different courses and trying them out, let's say if we wanted to check out this A2 course, let's hit Start Course. And let's say we really think this would be useful for our students. You can hit More Options and you can hit Add the Classrooms. And as you can see, we have the classroom we set up earlier. So we just hit, and we hit add the classrooms. And now A2 intermediate low has been added to our classroom. So now we can go back and check it out. So there we go. So now we have 3 different courses added into our classroom, and our students have access to all 3.
Hello, my name is Diana Collado. I'm a teacher in Texas, and I have been teaching ESL and Spanish for more than 18 years. Today I am going to share a short demo of Nualang, a program that I have really enjoyed using with my students. Before I show you Nualang, I want to talk about some of the reasons that make this a powerful tool. In my experience, there are certain aspects of teaching a world language that can be challenging. For one, it's hard to provide supported speaking and listening practice to every student. There simply isn't enough time, and each student needs a different level of support. With Nualang, you can create your own custom material, offer students engaging conversation practice, and easily assign exercises. Today, I am going to focus on showing you the exercises and role plays in Nualang. I'll talk about exercises first. There are 3 exercises that are automatically generated based on your word or phrases list. They are listening, translation, and pronunciation. Nualang also enables interactive role plays. Role plays are a great way to help students with conversation practice. In role plays, students interact with Nualas, the platform's irresistible characters. In Nualang, I can add a role play from the library that suits the topic that we are covering in class, or I can create my own. Now I am going to jump into Nualang and show you live exercises and role plays. All right, here we are. I'm already in Nualang. I'm going to go to one of my courses just to show you real quick how the phrases and the exercises look. This tab that says phrases is where I typed in my phrases. I can add as many as I need. You're going to type it in Spanish, and you're going to provide as many English translations as possible. For these simple words and phrases, we only had one translation, but sometimes you will have multiple translations that are possible, and you want to give credit to your students if they get it right. So you can add as many translations as you need. Once you're done adding your phrases, you will go to exercises, and there you will find translation, listening, and pronunciation right away using the phrases that you typed in. Translation, this is how it looks. The Nualang will say it out loud. Students can listen to it as many times as they need.
Levanta la mano.
And they're going to translate into English.
La computadora. El lápiz. Tengo una pregunta.
Now, if you have a beginner student and who's still struggling a little bit, they can use a word bank.
Tengo una pregunta.
I have a question. I'm going to go back to our main topic to show you how the listening practice looks.
El lápiz.
Students can listen to it as many times as they need, and they're going to type it in Spanish what they're hearing. Once again, if they're struggling,
Necesito ayuda.
they can use a word bank. Necesito ayuda.
La computadora.
Students can also choose different accents and voices. We have multiple characters with different accents. Penelope, Lupe, and Miguel. Their accent is Spanish from the US. We also have the Spanish from Europe. Lucia, Conchita, and Enrique. And Spanish from Mexico with Mia. Those are fun to play with, and students get the opportunity to be exposed to different accents from different countries.
La computadora.
La computadora.
Levanta la mano.
They can type it in. And that was the listening practice. All right, let's try the pronunciation practice. We're going to listen to the phrase.
Levanta la mano.
Levanta la mano.
El lápiz.
El lápiz. Now, if your students have a strong accent, the system still recognizes the words La computadora, and they get credit. Tengo una pregunta. All right, now I'm going to show you how the role plays look. I'm going to go to Saludos y Despedidas and find a good role play to show. Hola y adiós is a very simple one and short because we just want to show you how it works. This one has two characters. One of them are Nualas, Penelope and Miguel. We're going to start.
Buenos días, Miguel. ¿Cómo estás?
So students are supposed to choose from the options to see what goes next, whatever makes sense to make the conversation flow. Should we say buenos días, estoy muy bien, gracias, ¿y tú qué tal? Or genial, hasta luego. Buenos días.
Buenos días, estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú qué tal?
Muy bien también. Gracias.
What would go next? Genial, hasta luego, or buenos días, estoy muy bien, gracias, ¿y tú qué tal? I believe it's genial, hasta
Genial.
luego.
Hasta luego.
Hasta pronto.
And that is how the role plays look. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in bringing Nualang to your school, please contact us today. Take a look on the slide to see the details.
Okay, so let's take a look at how we can practice these conversations on Nualang using the chatbots feature. So the first example I'm going to show will be in Spanish, but I'll also show another example in English a little bit later. So as you can see, I've already selected a Spanish topic, and I just want to scroll to the bottom and kick off this birthday chatbot. So once we click in, we'll get some instructions.
Responde a las preguntas usando tus propias palabras. Di comenzar cuando estés listo para empezar.
So we get our first message from Pablo, and we can interact with Pablo's message in a couple of different ways. So as you can see, we get a couple buttons here at the bottom. So we can click speak if you want to hear the entire message back again.
Responde a las preguntas usando tus propias palabras. Di comenzar cuando estés listo para empezar.
Or if we'd like it translated, we can click this button here. And we can click it to get it back to the target language. And what you can also do is you can hover over each individual word to hear it back or see the translation.
Responde.
So if you'd like to disable that translate feature, you can do that for particular exercises. So if you want to make it a little bit more challenging for your students, you can disable that translate feature and they'll only be able to sort of listen to it back, but they won't get the translation. So let's hit comenzar just to sort of kick it off. Comenzar.
¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños?
So Pablo wants to know when our birthday is, and as you can see, I can use my voice to reply. So let's continue to use our voice. Mi cumpleaños es el 5 de junio.
¿Eres el mayor de tu familia?
And we can actually also use the keyboard. So let's reply with the keyboard. Let's just say sí.
¿Qué te regalaron tus padres para tu cumpleaños?
Then let's say una.
¿Cómo celebraste tu último cumpleaños?
So how do we celebrate our birthday? Let's say tuve una fiesta con mis amigos y mi familia.
¿Recibiste regalos de otros parientes?
So Pablo wants to know, did you get gifts from other relatives? So let's just say sí.
¿Cuál es tu regalo preferido?
Okay, let's say mi nueva.
¿Tus amigos y tú os hacéis regalos también?
Let's say sí.
La conversación ha terminado.
As you can see, we got prompted by Pablo to respond in our own words. So let's see what the student gets back as a report and what the teacher can also see. So if we just hit close and we hit finish exercise, we'll get an option to play again, or we can check out the report. So when we check out the report, you can see the total time that's ever been spent on this particular exercise. You can see every single time that you've tried it, and you can also see the answer method. So how often you use your voice, how often you use your keyboard. And if you want to look at individual attempts, you can click in here, and you can look at that transcript from that particular attempt at the exercise. So this is really useful, so the student can reflect on their transcripts, and the teacher can also check out how the students got on using the chatbot, and what sort of responses they came back with. You can also download this report into a spreadsheet, or you could print it, which basically puts it into a PDF. So that's the Spanish example. So let's also take a look at another example. Just to show you the versatility of chatbots, I just wanted to show you some exercises that you might see typically on a worksheet, but how they could be applied to a chatbot, and it makes it sort of super fun and engaging for the students. So let's take a look at the first example here. Fill in the correct words.
Hello, you can call me Joanna. Are you ready to start section 1?
Yes.
Fill in the correct words to complete the questions and sentences. First question. Last week we to Paris. What is the answer?
So the answer is went.
Correct. Here is your next question. Paul never been to Mexico.
Has.
Correct. Here is your next question. Last summer Laura went to Spain, but she been abroad before that.
Hadn't.
Correct. Here is your next question. If I were rich, I'd buy a mansion in Los Angeles.
And let's say I wasn't sure. So let's just say I'm not sure.
Wrong answer. Try again or say skip for the next question.
So we're actually able to skip if we're really struggling.
The answer was would. Here is the next question. If Ben hadn't lost his phone, he called Lisa.
Would have.
Correct. You have reached the end of section 1. You received 4 marks. Congratulations. Next up is section 2.
So not only has this taken an exercise that you might see on a worksheet and transformed it, you also get the grading done automatically. So you can see that the chatbot is actually sort of counting the score as the student completes the exercise. And when you click finish and you check out the report, you'll see that we used our voice every single time, we used our keyboard every single time. And you can see in the bot outputs, we actually get a score for the marks, and we can see the full transcript here. So that's how you can take a simple sort of worksheet type exercise and turn it into a chatbot, and it makes it super fun.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you liked the session and found some new ways to help your students engage in lively conversations. Please note all the ways you can get in touch with us and the special 20% discount for ACTFL attendees. We hope to talk to you soon.